Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco 3. Hope you're all doing well and ready for the start of season 14 now of the Lincoln Loco 3. I can't believe we're 14 seasons in and we're still not nearly finished, right? There's still plenty of time to go before we win La Liga and a Champions League and things like that. So plenty of seasons still to come. Today it's a transfer special, although the term transfer special might be a bit loose because I don't think there's going to be many transfers in today's episode, but we'll talk more about that in a moment's time. First things first, would love it if you could drop a like on today's video for me and of course subscribe to the channel. If you are new around here, make sure you click the notification bell and leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. Also, whilst you're down there, you'll notice in the top line of the description a link to download OneFootball. OneFootball is the best football app out there for all of the latest news, scores and up-to-date information live from games. You can turn push notifications on for your favourite teams to get those notifications sent straight through to your phone every time there's a goal or big match event, and it gets to you quicker than any other football app out there. So I would hugely appreciate it if you could download the app for absolutely free from the top line of the description. It helps me out and helps the channel out as well. So heading into this new season, we're coming off the back of finishing 5th in the table, our best ever points haul ever, but we missed out on Champions League football and we're in the Europa League this season after being in the Champions League last season, which is a little bit frustrating, right? This season, the aim has got to be getting into the Champions League by qualifying in the top 4 in the league position. So to do that, we need to make some additions to the team. But the thing is, our team is already there, right? We are pretty much a Champions League quality ready team. We just need to make 1 or 2 key additions that are going to bolster the team enough to get us over the line for top 4, essentially. So the first thing I want to talk about is the current team, right? The current team is really, really solid, as I said. If we sort it by current ability, we've got some great young players in the squad who are already like world class, in my opinion, right? And are very, very good, capable of playing Champions League football week in, week out. So I've got no qualms about most positions, particularly going forward. Our strikers, our wingers, our midfielders are all really, really solid. If we sort it by potential as well, there's what, 6 players there with 5-star potential, and then tons of them with 4.5 stars of potential. A lot of them are still developing as well. So for me, we don't need to sign young players with potential anymore. We already have them from either buying them in or developing them through our youth system, right? They're there. They're going to be class. We just have to give them time to develop, and that will happen at some point over the next 3 or 4 seasons, okay? So for me, there's no point signing more young players with potential. I think the way this team is going to improve and become a solid top 4 team and not just miss out on the top 4 like we did last season is by buying a couple of older players who are world class already, right? They're world class. They'll come in, tutor the younger players, but importantly, be super solid for us and be that player to take us into a top 4. The issue with that, though, is the finances, all right? The finances are the issue with that. Now, we currently have, if I can find the right finance tab, we've got £90 million in the bank. We've just been given a load of money for TV money for the upcoming season, which is why it's so inflated up to £90 million. The transfer budget is £26 million, and our wage budget is £831,000 per week. So there's a little bit of money in there, but £26 million, when we're looking for already established world-class players, is not going to go very far at all, really at all. So we've got to be very smart and sensible with where we spend our money. Unfortunately, I can't ask the board for more money because they've literally just given me these budgets, so they're not going to say you can have more. So unfortunately, we can't ask. I've already tried, but we can't ask. So we've got to work with the parameters that we've been given, but also it might mean selling a player or 2. Now, obviously, a few episodes ago, we had some bids come in for players like David Perez, right? I'll be very happy to let them go because they're not quite first teamers for us. However, that does rely on teams wanting these players. And right now, not a lot of our players are wanted. Paulo Turner's wanted, for example, but we want to keep hold of him because he's our best player, right? Chelsea want him. They're not going to have him. Lucao is wanted by plenty of clubs, and I might listen to bids for Lucao on the grounds that he could bring us in £20 million or so. His release fee clause is £25 million. If we get £25 million for Lucao, he might be on his way out. So sorry, Luke, but you might be going. If we look at our team report and look at current ability overview for every single position, you can see that we are really strong in the attack. Really good wingers, really good strikers, really good attacking midfielders, really good centre midfielders as well. 3 great centre mids in the club in terms of Paulo Turner, who's a winger, but Diego Catano and Kabak can play there. They're great midfielders. And of course, we've got great players coming through in the future, such as Tyson Brown and Nowak and things like that. So we're very sorted in the attack. I think you'll notice there's probably a little bit of a gap here at centre-back. Now, we've got 4 good centre-backs in Araya, Rubens, Lukau and Axel Carter. Axel Carter coming through, so he'll get more game time this season if he doesn't go out on loan. Rubens has just won La Liga Young Player of the Season as well, so he's on a stormer. It's Araya and Lukau who might have to take a bit of a backseat this season to bring someone else in. The main position I'm looking to strengthen this transfer window is a centre-back. We could maybe do with another right-back, but I'm very happy with Soren Rask. Soren Rask will come through and be very good, but of course behind him there's only Rubens, so we could do with another right-back as well, but every other position I'm pretty happy with right now. For me, the main target is a centre-back and then maybe a right-back as well, so don't expect many transfers today. I've got 3 players here right now that I'm looking to sign, and all 3 of them could do a job. And let's start off, I guess, with the I would guess first choice target, actually. The oldest player there, Josko Gvardiol, right? Josko, we've had him in stream saves over on Twitch a couple of times with Arsenal. He was superb there. And he's had a very stellar career here in this version of the universe as well, playing for Dinamo, Leipzig, PSG, Man City, Inter Milan. He's done it all, basically. He's done it all. He would come in as the best centre-back that we've got. His physicals at 31 are still outstanding with 15 pace and 15 acceleration and things like that. Heading, marking, passing, tackling technique, and vision positioning, it's all solid. He's a quality player, and he wants to leave Inter Milan, right? He's requested to leave. Clubs are asking about him, and he's wanted by Huesca. We can beat Huesca to get this guy's signature, right? He's listed for £27 million, so we could get him for cash right now, which would be good, and I think he'd want to join us as well. So I would be very happy bringing Josko in, and I think he would strengthen that back line and also be a very good shooter for some good young players as well. So I think he'd fill a gap, basically. However, on the shortlist, there are 2 other good players as well. We'll start off with the guy who's probably not quite so good yet. 20 years old is Bryce, who looks solid, like really good physicals. His technicals might actually look a little bit better than the ones of Josko, and he's got some good mentals as well, described as a wonder kid. The issue, of course, will be if we ask agent about availability, is 27 to 64 million pounds. This guy is going to be expensive, and of course he's young, so he's prone to mistakes, right? That could be a bit of an issue. And then Lucas Weber is probably the best of the 3. He's 22 years old, currently playing for Anderlecht. Has got room to grow as well. Is 6'2", 16 heading, really good jumping reach. His pace is fast as well. Like, he probably is the best out of these 3. And has also got a left foot, which is ideal because we play him on the left-hand side of defence. Again, though, the issue with him, transfer, ask agent about availability, 31 to 50 million pounds. We don't quite have that sort of money yet. But of course, we could put 20 million pounds up front and then, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 down the line or something like that. So all 3 of these players, I think, do want to sign for us. It's just trying to get which one. And already, I think in my head, Bryce maybe has the most potential, but is the youngest and probably isn't the best right now. So actually, I'll rule him out. I'm ruling him out already. It's between Josko and Lucas Weber. And this is where it gets really tricky. If we compare the 2 of them, right? Lucas, I think, is the slightly better player. They are just so similar, though. Josko is more of a ball player, as you can see, with good vision and good technicals. Lucas is slightly better at defending, right? Better defending, better physicals as well. They're so similar. Josko will be cheaper to purchase. He might want a more expensive contract, but he'll be cheaper. But Lucas will come in and has still got a little bit of room to grow, and we can sort of mould him a little more, maybe. I think it's worth actually maybe putting bids in for both of them and seeing how much they'll cost. So we know Josko, for example, we'll go straight onto Josko, transfer, make an offer. We know we've got to spend £27 million on him, which we can afford. So let's make the offer, put that on the table. We can get Josko. Lucas Weber, let's make an offer for him then. So we're looking somewhere between, 35 and 50 million, which is a lot of money for a centre-back, right? But if we want to win a Champions League, we've got to start spending that sort of money. So let's bring the initial fee down to £18 million and then add in 3 instalments of another £18 million, right? And that takes it up to 36 million, which is the starting point of what they're looking for. So if we go and suggest terms, they come back and say after 50 games they want an extra £7 million and then 30% of profit on the next sale. So let's get rid of that, and let's get rid of that, and push it up to 20 and 20. So 40 million in total for this guy, but it would obviously save money from what they want there. So if we go and suggest terms, they accept that. So 20 now, and then 6.6 million per season for the next 3 years. It's only £13 million more than Josko, and we could get a lot longer for him and sell him for more money in the future. I think maybe Lucas Weber. Maybe I'm leaning towards him now. Oh, it's so tricky to know, right? It's so tricky. I've come in here telling you we're going to sign some old guys, and now I've decided that already we might not be doing that. So let's see what they want contract-wise then. Contracts should come through pretty quickly, and they have done very quickly for Weber. He wants to be a star player between £69,000 and £92,000 per week. He wants to go to Inter Milan as well, not quite so interested in Chelsea. So ideally, we need to try and get this over the line quickly if we want him. So let's start negotiating this contract. Star player is fine. He's locked in a big pay rise. So, okay, we've got to deal with that. Let's finalise those deals, negotiate the contract. Now, he's come straight in wanting £120,000 a week, whereas our agent, as you can see over my shoulder, says he only thinks he's going to want £57,000 to £73,000 a week. So already some discrepancy. What's the maximum we can offer him? 97,000 a week. Okay. Interesting. He also wants a huge signing on fee as well as 7 million. We can give you 4.3, so that's a big loss. Let's put it to 4 million and probably lock that in right, and then drop the agent fee down to as high as it will be. Wage, we've got to bring it down. 75,000, all right, and then drop the agent fee again. Release fee clause is fine. I mean, we have to give him what he wants, basically, I feel. So let's suggest this to start off with. He's coming back saying he wants 115,000 a week. Let's drop it down to 80. 80 and then 750. Suggest. We're going to have been a long negotiation here. 80. Let's go to 80 again. What does he say to 80 again? He wants 105. He is coming down. Let's go 82. And he says yes to 82. Now, that would make him the highest earner at the club by about £20,000, maybe more than that, £25,000, £30,000, which is a lot of money. But he could transform our back line. He genuinely could transform our back line. Hang on. Do I want to send the offer? Yes, send the offer, please, of the contract. So that contract offer has been sent. If we compare him with our best centre-back, which is Rubens, you can see that Weber in the blue is better in pretty much every single area. So we would be bringing in the best centre-back to the club, and we would be bringing in someone who is significantly better, right? It doesn't look like it here, but, you know, he is ahead by like 2 or 3 attribute points in most areas. So, I don't know. Maybe he's not. Maybe I'm trying to say that to try and convince myself that this contract is going to be worth it. I'm not sure if it is or not. 40 million and a big expensive contract. Is it worth it? Only time will tell, right? We should get the contract for Josko coming through in a couple of days as well. So we should be able to see that, surely, at some point. Give him a contract. Although nothing's been said about it. Come on, Josko. Let's talk contracts with you. Obviously, Josko's going to cost more up front. But then down the line, of course, Weber will cost more because we're paying £40 million for him. It all depends on what sort of contract Josko wants. If Josko wants a small contract, I'll probably go for him. If he wants a big contract, or, you know, something as big as Weber, who Chelsea now want as well. See, Chelsea can offer bigger contracts than us. I think it's good to have both these players on standby, right? As he wants a much smaller contract. Okay. Regular starter, that's fine. Contract, well, I say smaller contract. He wants 71 grand a week. So we gave 82 to Weber. Let's drop this down to 50 to start off with. 3 million as 2.5 million, and then sort of leave everything else as it is to keep him happy. Suggest 68 and 3.3. How about 55 and 2.8? 65 and 3.2. How about 58 and 2.8? 60 and 2.9. All right, so £20,000 a week less than the signing on fee as well, less than the bonuses as well. So it's a smaller contract. It is a smaller contract. Okay. I think really what we have to do now is kind of wait to see what Weber does. If he goes to Chelsea, we bring in Josko. If he wants to join us, I think this guy might be the one to go for. I don't think we necessarily need a ball-playing defender like Josko is that ball-playing defender, right? He's the ball-playing defender that we need as a few players want to go out and leave the club. Now, Kevin Cruz is a guy that we have offered a contract to, but he's decided not to sign it yet. He came through our youth intake, and he's decided that he knows better than signing for us. Other clubs have offered him contracts and are bidding for him, including Atletico Madrid. So he's weighing up his options and not deciding to join us. So for me, I'm going to reject these ones because I want to keep him. But Kevin Cruz, for all I care, you're our what, 6th choice striker? I don't care about you. Jeremy Finley, though, a striker that I do care about, is going out on loan for this next season to Alaves. He's not going to get enough first-team football here. He went on loan last season for the second half of last season to Leganes and did pretty well. 6 goals and 17 appearances in the second division. He's going to Alaves this season, who are a better team, and hopefully he performs better, scores more goals, and then next season we can get him in our first team. But obviously, we don't want to think about that too much right now. All we need to think about is bringing in that centre-back that we need. So if Josko comes in, obviously that's our £27 million gone. No one else. Oh, Kevin Cruz does sign a new contract. He finally decided that he's going to sign a new contract. You love to see it. Elche want Axel Carter this season. Now, Axel Carter is an interesting one. Currently operating at a second division level. He's our 4th choice centre-back. So actually, if we play a 3 at the back system, he'd be right in there playing plenty of games for us. However, if we bring in, well, we are bringing someone else in, right? So he'd go down to 5th choice centre-back. Maybe it'd be better, right, if he did go out on loan for another season. Now, how good are Elche and what division are they in? Elche are now in the Spanish First Division. Oh, so they're in our league right now with excellent training facilities, and he's going to be a squad player. If we make him regular starter, lock that in, suggest, if he plays every game for Elche, that's better than him being on the bench for us. So, in our division as well. I'm going to accept that. Off you go, lad. Have a good season. But going back to what I was talking about originally, obviously £27 million for Josko. That's all our money gone. We'd have to sell other players to actually buy other players, but we don't need to buy anyone really. So, do we need to sell anyone? I don't know. Chelsea want Paulo Turner. Now, this could be the money that we need to sign some other players. However, Paulo is our best player, and he's got no interest in joining Chelsea, as it says there, so we're going to reject that and not let him go to Chelsea. If we sign Weber for £20 million now, that gives us £7 million or so to buy in another right-back. I think right-back is the other position that we kind of maybe need a player in to help cover us there, so a right-back would be quite useful too. Although saying that, the top trainer this week is Lewis Crowther, who is our backup right-back. He's very, very good. 20 determination, you'd love to see that, that's fantastic. So, actually, maybe we don't need to bring a right back in if we've got this guy. So, Josko, set to sign for us. He's happy to come to us. We're going to delay it, obviously. Let's delay this and wait to see what Weber does, if he joins Chelsea or if he wants to come to us instead. I think I'm talking myself into Weber. I think I'm talking myself into him. They're very similar players, right? But Weber does have that little bit more potential to still develop. And Josko at 31 years old, yes, he is fantastic, right? Josko's fantastic. But he will start to decline. And I'd rather maybe have a player on the up rather than the down. So maybe I am thinking of Weber. But obviously if Weber goes elsewhere, we bring in Josko. Although now he's just said that he wants to be removed from the transfer list at Inter Milan. We can still accept that, right? Yeah, on the inside. Yeah, he's still there for a confirmation, but he's now decided at the last second that he wants to stay at Inter Milan. Josko, make your mind up, lad. But Lucas Weber has rejected the offer from Chelsea. Imagine this, right? Players are rejecting Chelsea to join Lincoln Red Imps from Gibraltar. That is mental. So now the decision is here. Weber or Josko. And I'll be honest, I'm feeling Weber more. Weber is more physical and better in defence, which is what we need him to do. We need him to do that. They're as fast as each other. Aerially and mentally, they're pretty decent. As we said, Josko is more that ball-playing defender who's got very good vision and technical ability. But do we need that in our centre-backs? We've got really good wingers who can cross balls in. We've got some great playmaking in the midfield. We don't necessarily need ball-playing defenders. And of course, Weber can develop. So I think Weber's the one to go for. I've gone completely against what I said at the start of today's episode, saying let's bring some old guys in. No, Lucas Weber, 22 years old. Technically, for our team, actually is a bit old. He might be the second oldest centre-back we've got. But Weber, I'm going to accept that one. And Josko, I'm going to reject. So let's accept that. Josko, let's go for ask for confirmation. Yes, confirmation on that. And then Josko, there he is. Cancel that one. Must respond to what? Oh, Cadiz want Arthur Ackland on loan. Oh, we can deal with this actually, can't we? Arthur Ackland, right? Right. Something's happened that I'm very sad to tell you about, okay? I'm going to try and keep this on my down low, but I can't keep it on my down low, can I? Dekenne's contract expired. Dekenne's contract was coming to a conclusion, and I decided not to keep him at the club on the grounds that he hadn't played a game for... I mean, he played 4 games in 3 seasons, right? It wasn't good enough. His contract was coming to an end. I didn't want to re-sign him. So Dekenne's gone. It looked like he's signed from Milan, which is very good for him, obviously. But it's because we've got players like Arthur Ackland and we've also got Suave the Ball, 2 backup keepers who are as good, if not better, than Dekenne already at 17 years old and will be backup players. So we need to keep one of Arthur Ackland or Suave the Ball at the club. And it might end up being Suave the Ball to keep getting tutored up a little bit, whereas Arthur Ackland will go to Cadiz as a first choice keeper. Now, Cadiz are in the 2nd Division Pro B. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. We need to be playing 2nd Division football at the minimum, Arthur Ackland. Yeah, so that's too low down. Reject that. But yeah, Dekenne's gone. Sorry. I mean, that's quite sad, isn't it? But he's gone. As we sign Lucas Weber. Send on intensive language courses for both English and Spanish. But he's here. The new centre-back is here. And this guy should transform our back line. I'm expecting him to do a lot for us this season. What that does mean, though, is that we have about £6 million or so, £5.5 million to be spending on a right back. Nothing in the wage budget, but we've got some money to spend on right backs. But we don't have any info on right backs, really. These are the guys that are transfer listed right now, sorted by value. There's a few players who actually could be quite decent that I'll get scouted out, but nothing really massively in terms of value on the transfer list. If I get rid of the transfer listed bits, go to any. I mean, there's a few players there, but they're expensive, right? This guy at PSG is £108 million. So we're not going to bring in huge quality for what we've got right now, actually, which is kind of sad. Although this guy, a £2 million maximum asking price, it looks quite good. Like, could be decent for us as a fullback, just for a season or so. Ask agent about availability. They say 10 to 13. Okay, so not that guy. We look on the loan market instead. Who's listed for loan? Who's like a good young right back? The guy from PSG listed for loan. Why not? You know, we need someone for the season, really, whilst some of the players develop. Transfer, make an offer, loan. They want a lot of money. Okay, no, let's not do that. I might be happy. I keep forgetting, right? We are a top 4 team. Really, we just missed out this past season, but only by a couple of points. You know, we were right up there in the race for the whole season, and we had tons of points. So, and that's 2 seasons in a row as well. 2 seasons in a row. If we look at the past positions for, can we see last season at all? I don't think we can. If we go to last season, past positions, it doesn't quite work. Essentially, last season, we were ridiculously unlucky not to get top 4. We were in the top 4 more time than we were outside the top 4. So got very lucky to finish outside the top 4. And it was the exact same as season before, right? We worked out, didn't we? We were in the top 4 for like 25 of the 38 weeks. And then we dropped out at the end. It was so unfortunate. So for 2 seasons in a row, we are a top 4 team. We've just missed out on it twice, frustratingly. We don't need to make big changes. That one signing might be all we need, you know. Might be all we need. We've got a great centre-back now, obviously, in Rask. We've got a great centre-back now in Lucas Weber. I have every confidence that Rubens will develop this season to become a great centre-back as well. We've got 2 great left-backs in. I guess Weber can play left-back as well, but Varel plays left-back. And actually, Rask will develop. And he'll become a great centre-back. And then, of course, behind him, we've got Lewis Crowther, who'll become a good, if not great centre-back this season. So actually, maybe we don't need to do anything more. Maybe that was all we needed. We spent the money. We got him in. Maybe that's all we need to do. I don't feel a need to sell anyone. We've got a really nicely big team, to be fair, with lots of options there for us, definitely. But I don't really feel the need to sell anyone. Like, if bids come in, I'm only going to sell them if they're huge prices and we can't really turn them down because it wouldn't make financial sense to turn them down, right? So I think actually that might be it. which is kind of rubbish, I know, but no one wants our players, other than Paulo Turner's wanted, obviously, by several clubs, but we're not going to sell him. Unless the £80 million release fee clause is met, he's not going anywhere. So I don't think that's going to happen. No one else is wanted. Lucao is wanted, right, by Elche Mallorca, but they're not going to trigger £25 million, so he's not going to go anywhere. Kostic is wanted only on loan. Axel Carter's on loan. All these young players are wanted on loan. I don't think any of our players are actually going to go anywhere. So I don't think there's much point in me recording much more, because I don't think anyone's going to leave, and I've got no plans to bring anyone else in. Mostly because we don't need to, but also actually because we are now massively overspending on wages by £40,000 a week. So we can't afford wages for people either. So that's also part of the issue. So these transfer specials are arguably getting less special, but I'd say more special, because each player is now more special to the team. This Weber guy, he's meant to be, in my opinion, Weber, he's got to come in and be the superstar now. He's got to be our Virgil van Dijk, all right? Anderlecht are Southampton and we're Liverpool, and this guy is going to take us from, you know, milling around the top four to the title. That's what he's doing. This is our Van Dijk, and this is what I think was good to spend our money on. So I am going to finish up today's episode here. I know it's a much shorter transfer special than we're used to, but they don't need to be long anymore. We're not bringing in tons of players. We don't need to do it. This one guy, our Virgil van Dijk, is going to win us the Europa League this season. Obviously, again, we're going to get another Europa League. I'm determined to win that. But he's also going to get us the closest that we've been to the Liga title than we've ever been before. So for me, he is a huge transfer. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. Sorry it's so short and we've only made one signing, but it's all we need. You know, there's no point me signing loads of players for the sake of it. We have to be sensible, and I think we've been sensible. So I will see you tomorrow for tomorrow's episode. Until then, have a lovely evening. Make sure you play lots of Football Manager. Make sure you download the OneFootball app, and make sure you drop a like on today's video. But until next time, have a good one. Goodbye.